fish hatcheries, cliff dwellings, the mummy of a child, Florentine B's Indian contemporary, our 20th Hell's Canyon, our 50th gateway to something or other, Fide, that tour book, the cover of which had been lost by that time, a tick in my groin, always the same 3 old men in hats and suspenders idling away the summer afternoon under the trees near the public fountain, a hazy blue view beyond railings on a mountain pass, and the backs of a family enjoying it, with Lo in a hot, happy, wild, intense, hopeful, hopeless whisper. "Look, the McChrystals! Please, let's talk to them! Please, let's talk to them, reader! Please, I'll do anything you want! Oh, please!" Indian ceremonial dances, strictly commercial. Art, American Refrigerator Transit Company. Obvious Arizona. Pueblo dwellings, Aboriginal pictographs. A dinosaur track in a desert canyon printed there 30 million years ago, when I was a child. A lanky 6-foot pale boy with an active Adam's apple, ogling Lo and her orange-brown bare midriff, which I kissed 5 minutes later. Jack! Winter in the desert, spring in the foothills, almonds in bloom. Reno, a dreary town in Nevada with a nightlife said to be cosmopolitan and mature. A winery in California with a church built in the shape of a wine barrel. Death Valley, Scotty's Castle. Works of art collected by one Rogers over a period of years. The ugly villas of handsome actresses, R.L. Stevenson's footprint on an extinct volcano. Mission Dolores, good title for a book. Surf-carved sandstone festoons. A man having a lavish epileptic fit on the ground in Russian Gulch State Park. Blue Crater Lake. A fish hatchery in Idaho and the state penitentiary. Somber Yellowstone Park and its coloured hot springs, baby geysers, rainbows of bubbling mud, symbols of my passion. A herd of antelopes and a wildlife refuge. Our 100th cavern, adults $1, Lolita 50 cents. A chateau built by a French marquis in North Dakota, a corn palace in South Dakota, and the huge heads of presidents carved in towering granite. The bearded woman read our jingle, and now she is no longer single. A zoo in Indiana where a large troop of monkeys lived on concrete replica of Christopher Columbus's flagship. Billions of dead or half-dead fish-smelling mayflies in every window of every eating place all along a dreary sandy shore. Fat gulls on big stones as seen from the ferry city of Cheboygan, whose brown woolly smoke arched and dipped over the green shadow it cast on the aquamarine lake. A motel whose ventilator pipe passed under the city sewer. Lincoln's home largely spurious with parlour books and period furniture that most visitors reverently accepted as personal belongings. We had rows, minor and major. The biggest ones we had took place at Lacework Cabins, Virginia, on Park Avenue, Little Rock, near a school, on Milner Pass, 10,759 feet high in Colorado, at the corner of 7th Street and Central Avenue in Phoenix, Arizona, on 3rd Street, Los Angeles, because the tickets to some studio or other were sold out, at a motel called Poplar Shade in Utah, where 6 pubescent trees were scarcely taller than my Lolita, and where she asked, apropos de rien, how long did I think we were going to live in stuffy cabins doing filthy things together and never behaving like ordinary people. On North Broadway, Burns, Oregon, corner of West Washington facing Safeway, a grocery. In some little town in the Sun Valley of Idaho, before a brick hotel, pale and flushed bricks nicely mixed with opposite a poplar playing its liquid shadows all over the local honor roll. In a sagebrush wilderness between Pinedale and Farson. Somewhere in Nebraska, on Main Street, near the First National Bank, established 1889, with a view of a railway crossing in the vista of the street, and beyond that the white organ pipes of a multiple silo. And on McEwen Street, corner of Wheaton Street, in a Michigan town bearing his first name. We came to know the curious roadside species hitchhiking man, Homo pollex of science, with all his many subspecies and forms. The modest soldier, spick and span, quietly waiting, quietly conscious of Khaki's viatic appeal. The schoolboy wishing to go 2 blocks. The killer wishing to go 2,000 miles. The mysterious, nervous, elderly gent with brand-new suitcase and clipped moustache. A trio of optimistic Mexicans. The college student, displaying the grime of vocational outdoor work as proudly as the name of the famous college arching across the front of his sweatshirt. The desperate lady whose battery has just died on her. The clean-cut, glossy-haired, shifty-eyed, white-faced young beasts in loud shirts and coats, vigorously, almost priapically, thrusting out tense thumbs to tempt lone women or sad-sack salesmen with fancy cravings. "Let's take him," Lo would often plead, rubbing her knees together in a way she had, as some particularly disgusting Pollux, some man of my age and shoulder-breadth, with the face à claque of an unemployed actor, walking backwards practically in the path of our car. Oh, I had to keep a very sharp eye on Lo, little limp Lo. Owing perhaps to constant amorous exercise, she radiated, despite her very childish appearance, some special languorous glow which threw garage fellows, hotel pages, vacationists, goons in luxurious cars, maroon morons near blued pools, into fits of concupiscence which might have tickled my pride had it not incensed my jealousy. For little Lo was aware of that glow of hers, and I would often catch her coulant un regard in the direction of some amiable male, some grease monkey, with a sinewy golden-brown forearm and a watch-braceleted wrist. And hardly had I turned my back to go and buy this very Lo a lollipop than I would hear her and the fair mechanic burst into a perfect love-song of wisecracks. When, during our longer stops, I would relax after a particularly violent morning in bed, and out of the goodness of my lulled heart allow her, indulgent hum, to visit the rose garden or children's library across the street with a motor court neighbour's plain little Mary and Mary's 8-year-old brother, Lo would come back an hour late with barefoot Mary trailing far behind and the little boy metamorphosed into two gangling, golden-haired high school uglies, all muscles and gonorrhea. The reader may well imagine what I answered my pet when, rather uncertainly, I admit, she would ask me if she could go with Carl and Al here to the roller-skating rink.